All right. Hi there. Good evening, Natalia. How are you? How do you feel today?
I'm good, thank you.
Great. That's great to know. Let's begin, please, with today's activities. We have some interesting things to do because now I'm going to hear it better. Now we're going to join the new course. And this new course, again, as being the last one, usually we should be working with only Pearson, and we're going to keep working with Pearson, but we're going to add even some extra elements. We were only working with writing in the previous class, but in this being the last course, we're going to do some extra things that I'm going to explain to you right away. All right. So before explaining that to you, Natalia, I don't know if you first have any questions, any doubts, or anything, so that then we can join the course and I can show you those extra activities, and I'm going to give you the dates also for those activities.
Mm, Only I find some indication in the last course of Pearson that I put in the document and in the last page of the document. It's about a report speech, but I'm not sure if it's the same. For example, in the number 4, the course say the indications, the example says, when we report someone's statements, we often change the verb tense. And then the example is, then say that there was no Byron Walters. And when the reporting in the other point is, when the reporting verb is in the present, we don't change the verb tense in the report statement. But I'm not sure what is how is my dudes here. I put, is it the same here? But I'm not sure is. I don't understand very well the indication in between these two examples.
Okay, so I understand that part. I'm going to see now in a moment. All right, I'm going to finish with that. I'm going to see in a moment. So basically, for example, if I'm going to talk about the past, all right, imagine that, actually, no, let's talk about a real example, right? I told you, right, these are my exact words from Fridays, okay? Natalia, on Monday, we will start a new course. Okay, on Monday, we will start a new course. So how can you report that speech using the indirect speech and following the logic that you understood? How would that be in that case, Natalia? What do you say?
The professor said that on Monday, we will start a new course.
All right, so we are close, right? Because as we are stating something that happened and we are using the verb in past, right? The professor said, right, or Luis said, then it means that we have to change the tense, all right? That's something that we didn't see in detail, but now we're going to do it because that's something that we didn't get to cover. But what is the past of will? Anytime we are reporting something in the past and we are using a past verb, the verb in the sentence that we are reporting has to be also in the past form of that tense. So what is the past of will?
Was?
No, in this case, no, because was is only the past of the verb to be. Okay, so be, was, were, and been, right? But will is it is a model and it has a past. That model has, not all models have past, Natalia, but that model has a past form. What do you think it is? It is another model. What model can it be the past of will?
Went?
No, because if you analyze,
Went.
went is another verb, right? Went is the past of go, right? But will again and went is a verb. The past of will is another model. I'm going to tell you. It is would. Would. Okay, so W-O-U, right? L-D. Would. So, and that's something, I don't know if you got to see that in the explanation on Pearson. They must have shown that to you. But if not, this is the logic. And I'm going to show you the chart, all right? But in the meantime, as I'm doing this, I'm just going to tell you. The logic is, what is the past of the simple present in
it? The past of the what verb?
Of any verb, but the tense. I'm talking, what is the tense in past of the tense that is the simple present? Any verb in the simple present, but in general, what tense is the past of the simple present? Is it the future simple? Is it the present perfect? Is it the past perfect? What do you say? What is the past of the present simple?
Past simple.
The past simple, right? The past of the present continuous.
The past continuous.
The past continuous, exactly. Those are easy, right? Now, what is the past of the, actually, this is also easy. The past of the present perfect.
Past perfect.
The past perfect. What is the past of the simple past?
The past
Perhaps,
of the simple past.
exactly. And perhaps you already mentioned that. It can be repeated.
Past perfect.
Past perfect, right? Remember, what is the past perfect? The past perfect is the past of the past, right? So the past perfect. And what's the past of the past perfect?
The past perfect continuous.
Actually, no, close, but actually it's the same. The past perfect doesn't have a past, right? Because the past perfect is already the past of the past. So the past perfect or the past perfect is past perfect. Okay, so it doesn't have, it's the same. Okay, but you're good so far. That's great. Now, the past of future is the future in the past, right? Remember, we learned that a while ago. I was going to be a doctor, but I changed my mind, right? Future in the past. So the past of the future is future in the past. Okay, easy as that. You have to remember that. Anytime you see a verb in the past, the professor told me, my mother said, the expert stated, right? Past, past, past. It means we're going to change those words also in the past form of that tense. So if I said, right, I love pasta. If I said that last weekend in Natalia, I love pasta in present, but I said that in the past. How can you report that statement?
The professor said that he loved pasta.
Exactly, yes. If you want to be very precise, you're going to change it. Perhaps in that case, as it is a general statement, it can be also the same, right? Because I still love pasta now. But in order to play with the rules, it is going to be simple past, right? Professor Luis said that he loved pasta, right? That day he said that. If I said, let's say, right, I'm preparing my project now. I'm preparing my project now, and I said that again in the past. How do you state that idea?
The professor said that he was prepared the report now. No, he was prepared the report now. No, not okay. Now.
Close, right? Close. But not also prepare, right? You will be preparing. He was preparing, right? Because it's the past continuous. And instead of now, what time expression can you use instead of now? You have options, actually. Imagine that I said that again. Imagine that it was last week. But you can use a general time expression in the past or a specific time expression in the past. What do you say? What comes to your mind?
In this moment.
Close, but if you say also in this moment, that's present, right? But it's close. You can say at that moment, right? Instead of this, that. At that moment, or you can say then, because then it was back then. Okay, so he was preparing, right, his project, or he was preparing something then or at that moment. Okay, so also those changes are going to happen. But now I'm going to show you the chart, because with that it is going to be completely clear. I'm just assigning the final test. This is the last thing that I'm missing to assign, Natalia. So as you can see, everything is going to be for November the 5th. Okay, it is November the 5th. And this is the final exam. It is going to start just 1 week before. Yes, that entire week, the last weekend and that weekend. That's what you get to complete this final exam. All right. But all the rest of the elements have been assigned also for the same date. But there's one thing that actually I did it for the 3rd. I'm going to change it now for the 4th. And with that, we should be good. Okay. With Pearson, we're going to work in the exact same way as we did so far in Natalia. I'm going to finish with this, and I'm going to go to that document so I see the specific details so that we can apply what I told you. And you have the presentation, but I'm going to share with you that one as well so that you know where you have to look. Okay, it is in the last unit. In the course that we were in, Natalia, A11, Google Classroom, Unit 4, Lesson 3, in that presentation about this is the one. In that presentation about a reported speech, you have all those rules of changing from the present tense to the past tense in any tense, including models, right? For example, I don't know if you remember what's the past of can. It is a model, right? So what's the past of can?
Could.
Could, right? The past of will, would, right? This is kind of, we are in only in this situation is the past, not always. But what's the past of may? You know that past also.
Might.
Might, exactly. Then for the rest of the models, we don't have past, okay? But we have some substitutions. For example, must, it's obligation in present, right? But to make it past, remember, we don't have the past of must, if you remember that, right? That's why we don't have a past obligation. It's impossible to have a past obligation, right? Then we are going to change that to had to, right? I had to. For example, if in the past I said, Natalia, I must finish this today. I must finish this today. So the reported speech is going to be, Luis said that he had to finish that for that day, or then over there. I don't know what goes well, all right? But if you analyze, I'm changing must for had to, all right? Because again, we don't have the past form of must.
I remember my question now.
All right, there you go.
I
so
put, yes, in that second example, say when the reporting verb is in the present, we don't change the verb tense in the reported statement. And the example say, I am really worried about Nick. And then Talia says that she is really worried about Nick. In this example, the tense don't change, and I don't understand why not.
Exactly, because the verb is in the present. It's as if you were referring back to something that just happened. Okay, for example, if I tell you just right now, Natalia, you have to complete the assignments for tonight. Okay, then if you have to report me now, imagine that you have a partner and your partner didn't listen, right? So you're going to say, hey, right, Luis says that we have to finish our assignments, right, for tonight. Okay, so it is in
Okay.
present because this is a reporting thing that just happened. So it doesn't have to be in past because it's going to feel weird and strange. You can keep it in present. Okay, so
Okay.
anytime you have the present verb at the beginning, the tense is going to remain the same. You don't have to do any, you don't have to make any changes.
Only with the simple past.
With any tense, right? If the verb is in present, the tense is not going to change. So if it's future, it is going to be future. If it is past, it's going to be past. If it's present, it's going to be present, right? If it's can, it's going to be can. It's not going to change. Only when we say, right, Luis says, right, my mother tells me, like in present, or my mother is telling me. Okay, for example, that's also present, right? So anytime that the first verb after the person that said that is in present or in simple present, the tense is going to be the same as in the direct speech. It doesn't change. Okay, if it's future, future, past, it doesn't change. But if the verb next to the person that said that to you is in past, right? Said, told, stated, declare, commented, all right? If it is in past, then the reported speech has to change to the past form of that tense. And we apply the rules that we just said. Simple present to simple past to past perfect, present perfect to past perfect, present continuous to past continuous. We didn't mention this, all right? Past continuous to past perfect continuous, all right? Because it's the only past that we got, all right? Then can to could, may to might, will to would, must to had to, and so on and so forth, all right? The other ones, they don't have past. Should, for example, doesn't have past in that change. Should is only going to be should. All right, it is not going to change. We have past models, but that's something else. All right, past models are used in different purposes, but that's the logic. Then I'm going back now. I'm here in Natalia. I finished with Pearson. Everything is there. Remember, the due date is November the 5th. It is Sunday. Okay, until that day, we have to complete everything. Now, I think you have some elements over here or this one, right? This is what you were reading. All right, yes. So it is exactly the same. All right. So we haven't changed the verb, right? This is one rule. We mentioned this. Simple present changes to simple past, right? Why? Because this is in past, okay? Only and only because this here is in past. So if the verb here, if the reporting verb is in past, then this is going to change to the past tense of this tense. But if it is in present, right, this just happened, so you don't need to report this in past, then you're going to keep the tense in the way it is. All right, that's the only thing that they are saying. But that's it. I don't know if you have questions about that then.
No.
All right, there you go. Now, briefly, again, before explaining, because we have, again, some really interesting things to do this last course so that you really take advantage of it. But before that, again, remember, this is in the course, in our course, in Natalia, A11. It's already there, but it's the last presentation. Remember, Unit 4, Lesson 3. Okay, Unit 4, Lesson 3. Here, you can find these rules in detail. All right, so the present simple changes to the past. The present continuous to past continuous. The simple past to the past perfect. The present perfect to the past perfect. The past perfect to the past perfect is the same, right? It doesn't change. Will, would, can to could, may to might, must to had to. It's exactly everything I said, okay? But everything is organized in this chart. You have to take that into account. Something that we don't have here is the thing that I told you, right? The present continues to the past continuous, but the past continues to the past perfect continuous, right? For example, if I say, I was living in London, then the reported speech is going to be, Luis told me that he had been living in London. Okay, he had been living. Why? Because we don't have another past. The only past of simple past or the past continuous is the past perfect. And as this is continuous, then it's going to be the past perfect continuous. Okay. It's the only one that is not here, but I'm telling you that. Now, these are other changes, and you realize that also, right? We're not going to say now if it is past, right? Instead, we say then.
Hello?
Sorry, I don't know what happened. I was just talking and
the internet.
everything disappeared. Yes, it was weird. But I don't know if you were able to hear this part, the part of the tenses, Natalia.
Yes,
Morris,
yes.
what was missing? Yes, right?
Yes, until
Because
the first chart.
This
Not
one, right now and then?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So as I was saying, it depends when you say that. If it's now, it doesn't have to be specific. Then at that time, at that moment, it works. All right. But instead of today, again, it depends when the person said that. Imagine, my examples were things that I said on Friday, right? So you can say, Luis told me that we would start, right? The new course, right? But you say last Friday. Instead of today, you say last Friday, right? To report what I said. If it happened yesterday, you don't say yesterday, right? You say the day before yesterday, the day before, on Wednesday, last Wednesday, or you give me the date, right? On 5th of December or on December the 5th. Okay, one of those. But again, you can be specific. The same for the last night, the night before, Tuesday or Thursday night. Instead of last week, the week before, the previous week, or you give me the specific date. Or instead of tomorrow, today, it can be today, right? That tomorrow, if it was yesterday, it is today. The next day, the following day, or you tell me the day directly. Right? So of course, this is kind of depending on when that person said that. In the tests, I don't think you're going to make these changes. I don't believe, but you have to be ready just in case in future tests and quizzes that you might have. But that's it in general. All right, these three charts, this one, and this one are the only ones that you have to pay attention to. But that's it. Once again, I don't know if you have any questions before going to the explanation of the activities in Natalia? Let me know, please.
No.
All right, there you go. Then we are going to start again by explaining something that is going to be new this course. In order to do it, sorry, this was the previous one. We are first going to join the new course. Okay, you can find the link in the chat, Natalia. It is over there. Join the course, please, and I'm going to explain the three activities that you're going to have by the end of this course. Okay, it's going to be by the end. So you're going to have until it is going to be Friday the 3rd. One of them is going to be until Wednesday the 1st, okay, November the 1st. But the other ones are going to be for Friday the 3rd. But you have 1, 2, almost 3 weeks. All right, and I'm going to explain why. I don't know if you were able to join already.
Yes.
Yes, okay, good. Now, if
here.
you follow me, very good. If you follow me, it's important that you follow me because you have to be able to find these documents. In the first section, right, classwork, courses, information, and content, you know, the same structure, right? But here, you have one thing that is called what? Reading material. Okay? And in this part, you're going to let me know if you can find everything, all right? But in this part, you have 5 articles. And actually, it's something that you're going to choose today with me. Okay, today perhaps we're only going to talk about this and we're going to organize everything, all right? But perhaps that's the only thing we're going to do today, as long as checking some things that I have to check. All right, but if you were able to work on the paragraphs, right, we can check that. But again, this is very important. So let's pick now, please. These 5 articles, I'm going to show them, all right, show them all of them one by one. You have to pick one. You have to read the complete article, all right, and you are going to prepare it's going to be a short oral report and writing report. The writing report is going to be just a summary, all right, of everything you were able to understand from this article. I would like it to be in your own words. And the oral report is going to be similar, but in 5 minutes, it's going to be a conversation about the article in which you're going to show me that you read it and that you can have a conversation with me about some elements from the article. All right, it's not a lot, but it's going to be a challenge. And to me, it's important that you can get used to this because, again, in the TOEFL, you're going to find readings about or reading passages about absolutely everything. And we are not experts in that field. We can read about biology, astrology, we can read about absolutely anything, psychology, economics, politics, and we are never going to be 100% ready for that. That's why we have to be able always not only to improvise, but to be able to understand the main ideas just by the context. Okay, so I start showing you the options and you're going to pick one now so that if you want, today you can start reading this and prepare everything for that day. All right, so the first option, Natalia, is the enigma of absolute pitch. I don't know if you know what's absolute pitch.
No.
No? All right. Absolute pitch is something that is part of the music field. All right. A person with absolute pitch is a person that can recognize any note or any pitch just by hearing it. Okay. If I play, just if I do this, right? Let's say that it produces one note and the person is able to say, yeah, that's C, C sharp, D, I don't know, right? The note. There are very few people with this. Okay, nowadays I think there are 2 famous people with this, all right? And in the past, one very famous musician was Mozart. Okay, Mozart had absolute pitch. Okay, and again, it's the ability and the ability of recognizing any pitch, any note, just by hearing it without any reference. Okay, without any reference. They recognize the sounds as colors, right? When you see red, you say red, right? So when you hear the G note, they say G. But again, very few people can do that. Okay, it is still an enigma. Science has not been able to explain why some people can do this, but this is an attempt. Okay, that's the first one. The other ones are more scientific in the sense of related to neurology or the brain or something like that. This one is about the maturity of the brain, of the adolescent brain. All right, they explain how it matures, the elements of the brain, how adolescents are and why they are the way they are because of the brain. And they are showing this in terms or in the sense of why do we, right, believe that someone is older when they turn 18 years old. Okay, according to neuroscience, our brains don't mature until we are 30 years old. Okay, so it is still maturing until we are 30 years old. So we should wait, okay, more time to let people vote. Should we vote only when we are 25 or 30 years old and not before? I don't know. Okay, but the idea here is that they are analyzing that, what neuroscience says about the maturity of the brain in adolescents and what policies or things we can change with that knowledge. All right, that's the second one. The third one, it's related to something that happened not long ago, COVID-19, the neurological sequelae of COVID-19. Okay, because after you got infected with COVID-19, right, something happened in everybody's brain. Sometimes it is, right, something more severe than in other cases. But it is said, right, that this is going to have, of course, let's say, a type of sequelae in the future. And they are starting analyzing, right, the changes in the brain and the possibility of developing sometimes some diseases because of COVID-19. All right, that's the third one. The fourth one, it's also something related to music. It's a method of music. Okay, they are analyzing if this method of teaching music, that is teaching when someone is 3 years old. They believe that when someone is very young, all right, they can learn music in a better way. All right, and the training starts at 3 years old and it continues, all right, for the rest of the life. But again, that's called the Suzuki method. And they are analyzing if it works or not. All right. And the last one is, again, some changes that we can have because of violence. How violence can have a direct and physical impact in our brains. All right. How it changes our brain and the way in which we can be. All right. Not just what we feel, but how the brain changes because of the exposure to violence. All right, that's it in general. Those are the 5 articles. Again, of course, we don't know much about them, but we're going to guide ourselves on what catches your attention or what you feel it's going to be something interesting for you, Natalia. So what do you say? Which one is the one that you would like to read and prepare for? And that's going to be, again, the 3rd, Friday the 3rd.
I have to prepare an essay?
Or... Not exactly an essay. It can be if you want to practice, because actually I'm not going to give you the specifications there, because to me here, the most important thing is going to be the oral interaction we are going to have.
Okay.
All right. But in the document, in the writing report, it can be anything. If you want, it can be an essay. If you want, it can only be a summary or a description of the main points that you read. That's going to be up to you. All right. Again, to me, the most valuable thing is going to be the interaction and the oral report that you're going to give.
Okay. For when is the day, the day for send or
it's going to be Friday, November the 3rd. Okay, Friday, November the 3rd.
Okay.
Okay. So what do you say? What's your inclination here? Which one is the one that you would like to read?
I have to choose now.
Let's try to have at least one approximation. Perhaps you can change it, all right? No problem if you change it. But to have an idea more or less what's going to be your tendency, and at least have that over there. If you change it, no problem, you change it. But it's better if you get even to choose now, so that you can work even tonight if it's possible for you. But again, no problem, you can change it later on. But what do you say if I make you pick one right now that you can change later on? But what would that be? What's the one that you think is going to be interesting for you?
I think maybe I use this article, Early Life Exposure to Violence, Developmental Consequences on Brain and Behavior.
Okay, great, very good. It's really interesting. Again, these are really interesting articles. So besides practicing your reading skills, it's going to be great for learning a lot of things. All right, so great. Let's leave it there. But again, if then you tell me, I actually, all right, read a little bit about that, I'm not into it, so I'm going to change for this, you can do it. All right, but remember, it's better if you define something very, very near so that you have more time to prepare the article.
Okay.
All right, good. That's one. Okay, that's one. Let's go to the second one. Again, this is going to be like something extra to the things that you have to work. The other one or the other two are going to be the following. All right. First, this writing. Now, this is going to be an essay. All right, this writing. It is also going to be due to, actually, it's going to be just one class before the last class. And that's going to be November the 1st. All right, November the 1st. It is not going to be long. It is going to have a maximum of 400 to 450 words. That's not going to be more than one introduction, two body paragraphs, and one conclusion. Okay, that's it. Again, we should have more. We should have 3 body paragraphs at least. But because of the structure that we got in the TOEFL and the number of words that we got, usually we're only going to have 2 body paragraphs. All right, so this is established in that way. Now, this was supposed to work in groups, all right? But of course, now we're not working in groups. But what applies for you is this set of instructions like that. In general, what you're going to do, we know that there's now, right? We still have the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. I started this in 2022, right? Because it started last year. But what you have to do in this essay is that you have to show me the two. Sorry.
Can we change the word?
Tell me one more time, Natalie.
Can we change the word between Israel and Palestine?
Okay. Yeah. Actually, no problem. Yes. Yes. If you want. That's also a great idea because it just started. So yes, of course, that's a long time, right? A conflict that there's over there, but we have war one more time. So yes, you can change to that. It's going to apply the same rules. All right, it is going to apply the same rules. So in general, what you have to, no more. Remember, let's read. All right, we're going to read what we have to do. It is over here, and I'm going to get closer so that we can read better. All right, so let's begin reading the instructions, please.
Write an essay that contains introduction, body, and conclusion about the Russian-Ukraine conflict. The introduction should be 1 paragraph. The body should be 2 paragraphs. The conclusion should be 1 paragraph. 1 paragraph must contain information to be on Ukraine's side, facts and support ideas. You can talk about their independence and their decisions. The other body paragraph must contain information to be on Russia's side, facts and supporting ideas. You can talk about NATO and the Cold War if you want. Use at least 2 different online articles to work with citations and support that you state with facts. 1 per body paragraph. Follow the basic punctuation rules, including the rules to use quotation marks, when to use commas, semicolons, and periods. For the citation, use the following structure: name of the article, name of the author, year.
Okay. All right. So again, you can change that to the current word. All right. There's no problem. But this is the logic. So if you analyze, you need a total of at least 4 paragraphs, right? 1 for the introduction, 2 for the body paragraphs, and 1 for the conclusion. You're going to apply the structure that we are learning and we are learning these weeks. Remember, you already have your introduction, right? 3 steps and the thesis statement. But of course, here something is going to be a little bit different. That you're, again, I have problems, I believe, with my internet connection, but I'm going to repeat. The thesis statement is going to be you describing the situation and describing the 2 countries, right? Why one is correct and the other one incorrect, or actually you have to show both sides, right? You have to describe both sides, both positions in that word, right? To be here, this is different to what we do in this essay that we're learning, but that's something you're going to do here. Here you're going to be more neutral and more descriptive. Okay, the essay that we're learning is more just something that you believe, and that's it. You're not neutral, and you are persuasive, and you use a lot of arguments to defend your position, right? But again, in this case, you're not going to do that. You're just going to describe these 2 situations. All right, I mean the situation of Palestine and Israel. But that's it. I mean, I don't know if you have questions. Remember that you're going to use only 2, at least 2 citations It means that the first body paragraph, you're going to choose one citation online for the explanation on one of the country's side, and the other citation is for the other country's side. Okay, to defend both of them, to understand why both of them are over there fighting for something. All right. But that's going to be it. Of course, the conclusion is just going to be a summary of everything that you were able to show, but you're going to see that in detail as we also cover the conclusion here in what we're practicing. But again, that's going to be the idea. The only limitation that you have, this of course doesn't apply here, is that it has to be in this format, right? It has to be an essay, Word or Google Docs, and the length, right, 400 to 450 words. That's going to be the range, right? Of course, it cannot be less, right? And it cannot be more than that. But that's it. I don't know if you have any questions, Natalia. Let me know, please.
I have to use the model, the writing model that we are checking.
Yes, most of it, at least the main structure, yes. Some things are going to be different because again, this is not a persuasive essay. This is more of a descriptive essay or expository essay. So some little details are going to be different, but the main structure is going to remain the same.
Okay, consider in the introduction the thesis statement.
Exactly, and the thesis statement here, in this case, that's one thing that is different. Instead of your opinion on something, right, to say, that's why I believe that Russia should stop attacking Ukraine, or again, these countries, right, that's usually a persuasive essay, but here, no. Your thesis statement is going to be, that's why it is important to understand both sides of this war, right? So you're going to describe why they are fighting and why the other group is fighting as well. All right, so that's going to be, those are the details that are going to be a little bit different. In general, most of it is going to be the same, but again, those details are the only things that are going to change. All right, now remember that this, in this case, please, Natalia, but actually you have two options, and it's going to be up to you. It can be for November the 1st. It means it's Wednesday, one class before the last day. It can be for that class. Why? Because in that case, I can check the essay and I can give you some feedback and some extra elements on Friday. That is the last class. All right. But the other option, if you tell me, it can be for the 3rd. If it's for the 3rd, of course, I'm going to give you feedback, but it's going to be only in the document and you can check the feedback, later on. All right. So which one do you prefer? To have it on the 1st or on the 3rd? It's up to you.
The 1st.
All right, the 1st. There you go. All right, so as you can see over here, the 1st, but of course it's not going to be this time. As we have to check this in class, you're going to have until 8 p.m. All right, 8 p.m. November the 1st, Wednesday, to submit this. Then, of course, we are not going to be accepting that anymore. But that's it. I don't know if you have any other questions or details about this. We have only one more activity that, again, it's going to be kind of heavy month, but it's going to be important to be sure that you're going to be ready for the preparation course. All right, but what do you say? Do you have any questions about this to see the last activity that we have?
No, for now, we have to practice on reading until November 3rd. It's about, I have to read an essay and speak and discuss with you about the article, right?
Exactly, and prepare a very short document that, again, it can be just a short summary, right? Okay. So for that one, a short summary and a discussion with me, correct? And also this, right? And this here, this, you don't have to defend this, right? You don't have to give me another report of this essay. It is just uploading your essay in a Word document, in a Word file, and that's it. Okay, but using all the rules that we were learning, right? For punctuation marks, for transitional words, and also this essay structure. All right, again, with some little changes that we're going to be seeing as we are learning the rest of the parts of that essay.
Okay.
All right, good. Now, the last one. Now, actually, for this one, I'm also going to give you an option because well, it's not literally your partner, but the other person that is also in this course and that worked with this told me, all right, because of the time, because I know that time is something that is not in our favor every time. You also have two options over here, and Natalia. But in this case, you would have to work the article even in more detail. Okay, the article that you chose. Why? Because in this last activity, actually the activity is that you read this article here that is very short. All right, it's not actually like an article, but it's part of the History Channel, all right, webpage. And they are, where is that? Or did it change? If it changed, we're going to look for the new link. All right, I don't know what happened. Let me see. But this should be, yes, I think they deleted that. If not, I'm going to find it again. But again, what I was trying to show you here, because this is in Spanish now, I'm going to look for that. But we should read this, all right, in post about St. Patrick's Day. All right, it is a celebration that they got in the United States. It is very short, and also we have a video, and this video is 4 minutes long. All right, so what you should do, this is one option, is reading this and watching this and preparing a speaking presentation. All right, so again, it says, right, actually, let's read the instructions, then we can change if it is necessary, Natalia, but you're going to let me know. Let's read these instructions.
Read the article St. Patrick's Day, Origins, Meaning, and Celebration, and watch the video. The links are down below. Do extra research to complement the information. Optional. Use the information from the article and your research to prepare a presentation in group. No individual presentation will be accepted. Upload your presentation here before the due date. One member of the group or all the members can upload the presentation, no problem. Share your screen to start the presentation. One member or every member can share the screen when it's their turn. Turn on your camera while speaking.
Yes,
all
until
members.
that part. Great, thank you very much. Sorry, yes, because we have a lot of elements that don't apply for us. But of course, this is not going to be in group, just individual, and this was just for the group, right? But the main thing then that we have over here then, Natalia, because again, sorry, there was a lot of information that was not for us, but we have to read the article, watch the video, do research to complement that, and we have to use all that information to prepare one presentation. It can be a PowerPoint presentation, a Canva presentation, generally presentation, it's up to you, all right? But you have to explain that to me, right? There they are talking about the origins, the meaning, the celebrations, and some more details in the video. So you're going to prepare your presentation following that order, right? St. Patrick's Days come from this, and you tell me the history, right? This is the meaning of this is what they do, and so on, right? But again, this is option number one. This is going to be also something that you have to pay attention to. Why? Because as we have it over here, we know that the document can be in PowerPoint, Prezi, generally Canva, and so on. But it should be a 10-minute presentation. So it's going to be a long presentation. All right. In those 10 minutes, you should be able to explain everything that you learned from the article, the video, and extra information. All right. Now, again, this is option one. But remember, in order to perhaps having, all right, too many activities. Actually, we're having a lot of activities, but your second option, Natalia, again, the connection is not very well, but the second option is that you do this presentation and you have to speak you, only you. I'm not going to say any word over there for 10 minutes, but with the article that you're reading here. That's your second option, all right, with this article over here. All right, with this, you have to prepare that 10-minute presentation in detail. Now, in this case, if you choose this option, besides reading this, all right, you have to prepare a presentation and you have to speak for 10 minutes, only you, to explain everything in detail about this article. And then 5 minutes after that is going to be just for interaction. I'm going to ask you some questions and we're going to have again the discussion that I told you, okay? But that's going to be at the end. But before that, you give me like a master class, all right? You're going to be the expert and you have to explain that to me. So I don't know what's the option that you would choose, Natalia, reading that other article and do that with that article, because the advantage of that option is that that article is very simple and the vocabulary is not scientific, academic, right? It's very simple. That's the advantage of that. But the disadvantage is that you have to read more and you need more time to prepare it. All right. And the second option, of course, the advantage is that you're doing two activities at the same time, right? The reading activity and the speaking activity at the same time. But the disadvantage, let's say, but actually to me, it's also an advantage, right? Also to you, it must be, is that you have to have a more profound knowledge about the article. You don't have to be an expert, of course, but you need to be able to explain that in 10 minutes. So it means you really need to go deep. It's not going to be only superficial. You need to go deeper, and that's going to be sometimes a challenge. All right. So I don't know what's the option that you would choose.
What do you think is the best option if I compare with the TOEFL exam? Read two articles?
Yes, actually, you can read the articles by yourself, but for the TOEFL, I believe that you getting deep into one of these articles is going to be more helpful, because in the TOEFL, you're going to have a lot of scientific and academic vocabulary. The St. Patrick's Day is interesting, but that type of reading is not going to be part of the TOEFL, right? It's more scientific, more, remember, the TOEFL is made for universities, right? For studying different colleges and universities. And mainly, again, not the lectures, the reading exercises are related to this type of articles. Okay, so perhaps that is going to be more useful.
Okay, so that one there. The same article for speaking and reading. So
all right, very good. So again, remember, you told me one today, but you still have the time to change. But remember, as now you have to read it in detail, in a lot of detail, try to be sure, or try to tell me, all right, we are on Monday, right? Yes, on Wednesday, try to tell me for sure what's the article that you are going to read. Okay, but that has to be the one.
This Wednesday. 18th.
This Wednesday.
Okay.
To tell me, to be sure that you know what you're going to read, because if you are going to be changing, I think you're going to be losing. Sometimes it's good, but I believe that it's better if you stick to one article. Okay, now you told me one, but you can change, and that's the last time that we can change. That is going to be this Wednesday.
Okay.
All right, good. So again, you have the time perhaps today and tomorrow to read just the abstract. Right, you can read the abstract of each article to have an idea and to say, okay, I want this. All right, and even you have, right, you have AI now, right, artificial intelligence. Use that not to work on your summary, all those details, but the artificial intelligence, I think they can give you a good approach to these articles, and to the summary that it can give you. You can choose better. All right.
I can add other article or
yes, actually, if a different piece of information, another article can help you understand this better, it is going to be good, as long as you are following the same track, right? As long as you are still talking about the exposure to violence, for example, we are good. But if you're starting talking about other topics that are not exposures or to violence, then it's not going to be a good idea. Anything to complement what you got is good. All right, but it has to be one of these. Another article is only going to be to complement, but not to replace. All right, there you go. Then that's it. Those are the three activities then, Natalia. I'm going to summarize again. Today you used only this, but this had to be clear. The first is the reading. You have to pick one of these articles. You have one, but you can change it until Wednesday. You have to read now this article in detail, because besides this reading exercise, you're going to prepare a speaking presentation that is going to last 10 minutes, right, with a PowerPoint presentation or any type of presentation to explain this article in detail, right? So those are the two activities in one, reading and speaking, right? And
Only
the other,
describe, sorry, only
yes,
describe, only explain the topic, or I have to show my opinion or my position about it?
you can do it, all right, at the end, but actually, after the presentation, you are going to have 5 minutes of a conversation with me, and over there you're going to show me your opinion, okay, because I'm going to ask you about that. All right,
Okay, in the
so
reading practice.
in the read, exactly, exactly. So you read that, right? Remember to prepare the 10 minutes for the presentation that you're going to prepare about the article. It has to be a very, let's say, objective presentation, okay? So the presentation, the 10 minutes is going to be objective, without any opinion, just objective. But after that, in the next 5 minutes, because it's going to be 15 minutes in total, 10 minutes of an objective presentation and 5 minutes for interaction, for opinion, for be sure that it was clear for you and you can give me your opinion on that topic. Okay, so actually you have to be ready for those 15 minutes in general. But that's it, all right? Those are the two activities. And the last activity that we got is the writing exercise. That is just in case, Natalia, you have to upload this, right? You have to upload, everything that you have to upload is in Unit 4. In Unit 4, you have writing group assignment. Here is where you have to upload your essay. Remember, now it's not about Russia, right, and Ukraine, but about Palestine and Israel. It has to be here, all right? This is the activity that we didn't mention for November the 1st. And your presentation that I'm going to change right now, it is for the last day. Our presentation is the last day, Natalie. So November the 3rd, okay, Friday, November the 3rd. You can also upload it until 8 p.m. Okay, why? Because I really need to have access to your presentation, and I can also have it over there as long as you are giving me, all right, the explanation of the article. But again, this is for Friday the 3rd. This is also in Unit 4. So remember, your essay is going to be here, your writing, for November the 1st, and your presentation in PowerPoint. If it's Genially or anything like that, you can upload your link. Okay, you can upload a text and the link. And also here, November the 3rd, 8 p.m. Both cases, 8 p.m. to have that ready in class. I don't know if you have any questions then, Natalie, in general. Let me know, please.
How can I upload presentations here?
Yeah, let me guide you actually. Can you share your screen? Okay, let's share your screen, please.
I'm in Unit 4.
Perfect. Exactly. Go down below. Exactly. View the instructions. Go to the instructions. It is not that PDF. Down below, close that one. And down below, you have view instructions. Down below. Go down. Exactly. There you go. Good. Now go up. Scroll up. There you go. Over there. Add or create. Right?
Okay.
Add or create. Exactly. And there you choose. If it's a document, if it's a link, you choose one of those.
Okay, so here I have to put my essay, and in the other link, in speaking, I have to put my presentation, right?
Exactly. If it's going to be a document, you upload your document also over there. Very good. Your document, or if you work in Genially or Canva or Prezi, you can upload your link.
Okay. Okay, great.
All right, there you go. Great. So look, that's it. Again, we spent the whole class explaining some doubts that you got, but explaining this in detail was very important. But that's going to be it for now, Natalia. On Wednesday, we're going to resume our activities, practicing the presentations that we got. And well, we're going to check because I believe they were able to work on your paragraph, right? Were you able to finish?
Yes.
All right, so
Yes.
we're going to start with that on Wednesday.
Okay.
Okay, there you go. I'm sharing, please, today's survey or poll that you can find it over there. Thanks for being in today's class. I hope you have a good night, and I'll see you on Wednesday then. Natalia, the only thing that you have for Wednesday then is to choose the best article for you.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
that's it.
I will.
There you go. So have a good night. See you on Wednesday.
Okay. Thank you. Good night.
Bye bye. Good night.